I'm Michael Filato. I'm a 25-year veteran of sales and mostly SaaS. Also a veteran of the Air Force Reserves for 12 years. I live in Orlando now and from Chicago originally, but I worked for Monster back in '96 and sold to the NFL and UFC and AT&T. So I've did a lot of marketing programs, social programs, and then a lot of HR technology, software sales. And what I noticed is that I was closing more deals because I was getting more leads all these years. And what I figured out was that I could rinse and repeat that and do automation around email, LinkedIn. And I've brought my company from 12 to 14 months ago to about 80,000 a month in MRR. It's like, I mean, I'm gonna make $1 million this year because I just found a rinse and repeat approach versus saying, no, let me be a consultant. Let me give out 40 hours a week here, or 20 hours here, 10 hours there. And, I'll make 100,000. It's great. But this is, if you could find something that's like SaaS, right? I'm not selling SaaS, but I'm selling a process that's easy for me to kind of set up, get going, and then let it sing, let it go. So that's kind of what I built here. So there's basically like a lot of organizations are, using LinkedIn, they're doing it manually. There's ways to automate that. And I've learned different ways where I could send 150 invites a day versus 100 a week. So you've got to have a repeatable and scalable approach. A lot of data people that they don't verify the emails. They don't check to see if they're going to bounce. That also ruins your domain. So if you start sending out a bunch of emails, you can actually ruin your domain. So you can't even send out emails to your own clients and prospects. So they're using tools like HubSpot, Pardot, Outreach, and they're using it with their Gmail or Office 365. It's a really bad way that I did it, and thousands of companies still do it that way. But you got to find a different way of doing it, which is having a separate email server and cleaning the data, cleaning the emails. And I could send 1,500 emails, 2,000 emails a day. I have like 15 to 20 meetings of people looking for lead gen every week for me, and I was like, it's amazing that I can get that many meetings for myself, where before it's pretty hard, right? So if I spend my time closing and doing demo calls versus hunting and clicking on LinkedIn and writing a really specialized LinkedIn message, then I can rinse and repeat. I can do a repeatable and scalable model. So you can kind of keep on feeding yourself, or have a company like me feed you leads while you're closing instead of doing that. I mean, Salesforce kind of invented this 15 years ago, where like, why are our sellers going like this every quarter? They got people doing lead gen, and that's separate business from the sellers. And that's really where you kind of cut your teeth. So any of us that are mature here, which we all are, should not be sitting there looking for leads all day. We should be having some way to automate this.
What is the SDR? What does SDR mean?
Sales development rep, BDR, business development rep, okay. Inside sales, appointment setters, all the same thing. First job out of college, and they don't know anything. And the work ethic of the kids nowadays are not the greatest either. So, they don't want to do this for too long. So the whole thing is, you got to use a subdomain. Like I use mail.fullthrottle.com instead of fullthrottle.com, right? You'll see it in a lot of emails if you start looking. Marketing.xerox.com. Like, why is it have a marketing? Because they don't want to ruin their domain by sending out marketing messages with them being able to send one-to-one emails to their clients. So I always keep church and state separately. You got to understand how to change all these records, DKIM, DMARC, SPF records. So I have an email engineer. I don't know how to do it, but he does it for like 30, 40 clients of mine that I have. You have to, know how to verify your domain health, verify emails, the email records. Data changes 20% every quarter. So that means all these things that you might have in your database, they start getting bad. So you have to have ZoomInfo, Apollo, Sales Intel, any of these companies. I use Apollo because I have an agency approach to it, and I could get it cheaper than most people. I automate email marketing, so it sends out like 3 to 4 emails over the course of a couple of weeks. The whole idea is to try to get them to book a calendar link, right? Hey, I want to do a discovery call. In my discovery call, fill out for Calendly. I said, what would you want to talk about? What's some pain points? So I kind of get an idea before they get on the call, how they found me and why they want to talk versus like, I got no clue how you got here today. So the whole thing is have KPIs, measure what works, A/B test, do different sequences for different titles, different industries that you're going after, or do this for your clients. And then, and really figure out, like, are you selling features? Are you selling what you do for them? Are you tying in any type of emotion to that email? Fear of missing out? Are they going to lose their job if they don't pick the right partner, vendor, software? You got to really narrow it down to why me, who cares, so what are you going to do for me versus I do this, I do that. There's just, it's way too much eyes. So you got to make sure.
Michael, do you do hyper-personalized intros on your first email?
Not hyper-personalized, but personalized. Like,
okay.
Right, because I'm not going to go look and see what their 8K was, right? It's not repeatable. But I could say, I saw that you were at the conference, I just wanted to say hi, or I saw that you're part of a group, or, oh, I hope you're enjoying your Tuesday afternoon. I could actually put snippets in there and make it look like, I hope you're enjoying your Tuesday afternoon at Xerox. That's personalized, right? I understand that you are the VP of sales, personalized. Okay. It's pulling from that database. So I'm an expert in basically driving leads to people. And if you don't have leads, you don't have revenue. If you don't have revenue, you don't have a company. So, Sales Navigator is a good tool. I'm able to automate that with my solution. And you shouldn't have a one-man show of you doing all the work and then all the lead gen. You got to find a way to automate as much as possible. So that's kind of what I do. And then this part is just more like my pitch. So that's, I could go through that real quickly if you want me to.
Sure, you got time. You've got 10 minutes, 8 minutes left.
I'll just do the elevator version. I say, listen, you can go with internal people and it's going to cost you $5,000 a month for a kid. And they're not going to know what they're doing. You can go externally and hire a company. They're going to give you kids from other countries. That's fine. But again, they're young kids that are inexperienced. But for the same price, you can hire me to do your outreach. And I have 240 million people in email and 720 million people in LinkedIn. And I've worked for Monster and I've sold to the NFL, was in the military. So I was in social media. I mean, there's a whole plethora of reasons why to work with me. And there's over 120 references on LinkedIn, over 15 on Full Throttle. So that's in a year. Like I said, I got it up to about 80,000 a month, but featured on different publications and panels about top of funnel. And basically this is kind of the email database. I look at how do we get enough emails to come in that people book you. And it's about 15 to 30% open rates, about 2 to 5 meetings a week. And I send about 20 to 30,000 emails. I mean, some people just have like 200 companies they can talk to because that's what they do. I'm not a really good fit for that. You don't need someone that can automate that. If you don't have kind of a TAM, it's called total addressable market, that's somewhat wider than a couple hundred companies. Any questions so far before I try to speed through this?
So you said you charge the same. Is that you charge 5,000 a month?
Not 5,000 a month. Yeah, it's about 6-month contract, and I kind of have a pricing slide. But here you can basically look at the number of employees. Did they just raise a Series A? I mean, that's good stuff to know. Like, are they in Mexico? Are they in Chicago? What's their SIC code? Did they just
this is Apollo?
This is Apollo. Yeah. If you get Apollo on your own and you're not going to get the full throttle, you'll get kind of a slow drip approach, but it's not, you can only do 25 emails at a time when you go to them direct. But yeah, there's so many ways to take that data. And then if you have HubSpot, Salesforce, it integrates so you can see all the data in there, which is kind of cool. Then with LinkedIn automation tool I have, it's freaking awesome. It makes it look like you're typing and moving the mouse around, and I'm doing it for you with basically a bot. And I can send LinkedIn invites using their email and LinkedIn URL. I could do 150 a day. So that's a lot. It's 100 a week, or I could do 150 a day. I can also look at 4,000 people you might want to talk to and see which one has an open profile and send them a free email. That's huge too, because emails cost money and you can only send so many. And then obviously if you have Sales Navigator, we can look at making list up and pull from there and expand from there and send them a message from your Navigator. This breaks
Which
down.
do you,
Huh?
which do you find has a better return, the LinkedIn or the email?
Depends on every company. I mean, you gotta think of me like I'm kind of like FedEx. I'm delivering automation and amplifying your brand. So if your brand is good, it should amplify in both places. If it's questionable and you have a big database of people on LinkedIn, you'll do better. If you're a new kid and you give me one of your new kids to basically use their LinkedIn profile, it's going to be a lot longer to get them, to get people to go, oh, maybe I should connect with this 25-year-old SDR. You know, they don't have any history, you know?
Right.
I mean, I use this as a breakdown. You could spend 15 grand a quarter on an internal, 50 on me, but then you have all these other costs. And the outreach is way less. And then if you look at it, I'm about a third of the cost and about twice as many outreaches. So I use that as an ROI slide. And I say, and then it's always good, no matter what you're doing in presentation, is why you? Why should I pick you? So this is what I did. This is what I learned from other companies. I went through Challenger Sales, Miller Hyman, all these other courses. So I said, listen, here's what I do. I save your domain. I send out enough emails. I verify the emails. I set up a separate email server. For LinkedIn, I automate it, keep it safe. You don't get in LinkedIn jail. I have an email engineer that sets this all up. It's really hard to do this. I mean, I have seen this 30 times the way he does this, and it's very much of an engineer approach to how he sets this up so that you're not using your Office 365 or Gmail or doing this for your clients that way, because you'll ruin their domain. You'll ruin your inbox. I've gotten my inbox shut down. And then I help write the content. And then because of my background's recruiting, I've added on recruiting to my retainer. And so listen, if you want to hire me for lead gen, I can do that. If you want to hire people, I can also do that too, because basically I can reach out, add volume if you want to get leads, or if you want to hire a VP of sales or CMO. And so that's really what I do. And then kind of just just those types of slides. So that's kind of the elevator.
Thank you. There's a couple of questions. Matthew, how do you do LinkedIn without running into those issues? How do you send so many outreach without getting into your account banned?
Because I'm using a proxy server. It looks like when you're actually doing the work on that person's profile, the bot is moving around like a person would. And so I don't have all my profiles coming from Orlando. I have them actually proxy server, which means it looks like it's coming from different locations. And it just, I don't do more than 150 activities a day. I listen to what it says that you should and should not do, because you'll basically get them to say, are you real? Are you using a bot? I've had that happen when I didn't use the software I use now. I used Octopus CRM, and it wasn't very good. It was more expensive actually too. So I found two pieces of software that I use, and an engineer, and my approach to be the four things that I can deliver, plus my recruiting. Go ahead, David.
Very cool. And David Libby has a question.
Hey, Michael. Yeah, good to see you, Michael. I've had the pleasure of having a conversation with Michael offline about his capabilities.
Yeah.
And I can vouch for him. This is fantastic. What kind of clients are you looking for in the SaaS space?
I look
Any
for
specific
startups mostly that don't have their whole team together, because once they have their VPs and CMOs and their head of growth, or those types of people, demand gen, they think they know it all, to be honest with you. And they're using HubSpot, they're using Gmail, and they're sending out thousands of emails, and they're wondering why their deliverability is not good. So most of them don't know what they're doing. Even JobVite, where I was last about a year or two ago, they had to change their domain to jobvite-inc.com for emails. They ruined their whole domain. And then even after that, when I was there, when they bought telemetry and I came in, we were using HubSpot with our Gmail account to send out sequences, which is doing the same thing. So whenever you just kind of throw stuff at the wall, you're gonna hurt your company. And so if you're sending out 100 emails a day, you won't have a problem. But if you want to get, it's a numbers game, sales, lead
Yep.
gen. If you don't send out enough, the more emails I send out, the more meetings I get. It's crazy.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. It's all about, right, volume and targeting.
And I do, obviously, give referrals. If you give me something, I do help people like yourself, like that want to get more customers and could do some sort of hybrid approach where it's not $5,000 a month. But my whole approach is like, be a partner and figure it out, help you guys.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you for stepping up last minute. I really
worries.
appreciate it. So I am going to, did I put in the chat? I think I did, the order in which people showed up. So we can do like 3 minutes.
How many?
Yeah. So Michael, you're done.
Okay. I didn't know if I
Stacy,
took questions, but I didn't know if there was anything else.
you want to take some more questions? Any other questions? We could do a few more minutes.
Yeah, I have a question. Thank you, Michael. That was really interesting. Have you worked with combining multiple data sets? I don't have this client currently right now, but I'm just wondering, like, how you would deal with this. So I had a client that was a small financial advisors in Midtown Atlanta, and they were looking for a unicorn. They were looking for high net worth females located in the Charleston, South Carolina area who recently went through a divorce. So you're talking about a unicorn of a unicorn.
Yeah.
And I know on like Facebook, and you can get some of that data, that you don't have all of it, and LinkedIn you might have others. So do you do that combining data sets? Okay.
I don't get into that's B2C mostly, even though it's kind of B2B. I don't have, there's like scoops you can get from different places, and like Zoom Info does that as well, but they're not going to give you like this person can get divorced, but you could obviously go to court records and get that stuff. But I mostly stay in what I can rinse and repeat. It's like, I know that you're looking for a VP of sales. I know you want to talk to VP of sales. You sell software that VP of sales buy, and you sell to companies 500 and less. And hopefully you have it, not just in Charleston. The smaller you get, right, the more it's not worth what somebody like myself would do. Unless I want to maybe sell $5 an email address, I just sell a list, which I could do. I haven't really done that. And I added recruiting just because I've had people say, I love what you do, but I need an account executive or a VP of sales first. I'm like, well, I can do that. So it's worked. I've placed people, and I'm not a big recruiter in my past, just a little bit. And I've made $40,000 for 5 hours of work placing a VP of sales.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like 25% placement fee. It's not that hard. It's just like, listen, I'll find someone for you. I know how to do it. Or even all of us on this phone or on this video know people. And we can say, you say, listen, on the side, I place people once in a while, and you don't even have, and I can sit there, you call me up and I'll give you one of my agreements, and just, we'll work something out, where you can get like a good commission of that, because you should just refer someone, get them a job because of your friend. If you want to make 20, 30 grand, that's a big check. These real estate agents, which is what I did as a side job, I made 20, 30 grand for selling a house that I just walked someone into a new home.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can work the system.
I saw that
question.
oh, go ahead, Stephen.
I was just going to ask, you mentioned cleaning up emails. Two questions. I had previous careers, like I used to be in the hotel industry. So I would say half my LinkedIn contacts are from that industry, which is not going to be my target client now.
Yeah.
How do you, when you're sending out things, how do you target the right people? And should I delete all these people that are not my clients anymore? Or
how many do you have?
I've got over 1,500 maybe.
Yeah, you get 30,000 about on LinkedIn, so I wouldn't delete them. I mean, you want to, because it goes by someone that knows someone that knows someone. So
Yeah.
you never know if that person knows someone that knows someone else. You don't want to have zero. There is search functionality in LinkedIn. If you just type it in the bar, you can search on filters. You can't save it. Sales Navigator, you can. You can make lists, and then you can automate that with the tool that I use.
Okay.
But the whole idea is to make sure you hit the right people with the right message, and don't make it look automated. And don't do it manually. There's that fine space where you got to fit into.
And
that's
as far as cleaning up email addresses,
emails. Yeah,
you got to go in and manually do it.
Apollo does that.
Okay.
And then there's another service called Million Verifier. There's like 5 or 6 companies that you basically upload your emails. They verify if they're real or they're going to bounce. But I hate doing it because it just takes me another half an hour, 40 minutes, and I have 15 clients, and so I stopped doing as much. But when the bounce rate gets over 20%, then you start causing problems with that domain. There's all these little things that you got to learn what you do and don't do, because if you do it the wrong way, you're going to burn and break.
All right, one last thing. Do you write the outreach emails?
Yeah, but I do mostly as a partner. Like, let me see what you got, and let's work together on this, because I'm not an expert in this field or your field, and I don't do the calls. I don't do the demos. I just do I call it top of funnel. So I just try to do rinse and repeat.
Very cool. Thank you very much. Very informative. Appreciate your coming on and taking it on and last minute notice.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting.
No notice. All right, so let's give everybody. So we have 30 minutes. We have fewer than, let's see, 6, whatever. We have 7 people, so we could do 3 minutes apiece. We could start with Stacy, then David, then Rochelle. I will put on a 3-minute timer. If everybody else would go on mute, I'm going to change it to speaker mode so that whoever is speaking is going to show up. So Stacy, why don't you take it away?
Hi, so I don't know if I'm going to take up 3 minutes, but I'm Stacy Mathis. I own a website called Legal Copywriting Central, and we write all types of marketing copy and content for lawyers and vendors in the legal industry and legal industry organizations, including like the American Bar Association. Quick story. We recently completed marketing copy for a full service law firm. And, they found us on Google. They typed in legal copywriters. We popped up. We met virtually, handled all the logistics. We wrote the copy, turned it over. They were pleased. So pleased that they referred us to one of their colleagues, the lawyers for the NBA. So that's it.
The NBA, nice.
Yeah. So that's what we do. We write brochures and websites and landing pages and anything that you use to market your business in the legal industry. And we also write for legal magazines, like the Bar Association has a magazine, an online magazine, and the Academy of Matrimonial Lawyers and that sort of thing. So you need it written, we can write it.
So you write, does that mean you're writing articles for the magazine?
Writing articles, magazine articles. Mm-hmm. And but in addition to regular copywriting, like I said, web pages and that sort of thing, email marketing and blog writing for various practice areas.
You didn't write Alito's opinion last night, did you?
Oh God, no.
Sorry.
I'm still reeling over that one, but.
All right. Yeah, we shouldn't get into something like that. That'll take us all down a rat hole. All right. Thank you so much. It's great. Yeah, if you do a search on legal copywriting New York, Stacy's company pops up at the top. So her SEO is certainly working. David Libby, take it away.
All right. Right when my daughter and her friend walked into the office. Hey, everybody. Hey, guys. Hey, I'm David Libby with 2 Pins. We accelerate startups to their exits Hey, and what does that mean? We identify and we communicate high value positioning for startups. So we take your marketing or your client's marketing and we align it with their business objectives. You guys can walk by, it's totally fine. Yeah, thanks. And yeah, that's us. And lots of fun helping clients in the B2B sector when they want public relations and they want to launch a product. They want to make an announcement. They want to look for fundraising. We help get the word out.
And you want to give us some, tell us a story. Any
Tell you
good
a
story
story.
about a client that you, well, we know about the one that you made $2 billion. Was it $1 billion? Can't remember. You said they sold.
He
for $1
made
billion.
it. Yeah, he made it $1 billion. Yeah. Oh, I you got me
You
off
can tell your
guard.
Steve Jobs history story, whatever you like.
No, it's too boring. Yeah, you know, lots for some reason, lot of companies. One of the clients that we had was an SEM company, you know, like search engine marketing company, and they had all these big name clients, high, you know, big travel companies, big financial services companies, and they said we really want to get attention. And I said, well, CEO, you always sit down with me and you give me your opinion left and right. Let's put that on paper. Create a blog post about that opinion, about your differentiation. Let's send it to one of your competitors. Let's see what he says. Well, he wrote back and said, hey, that's my opinion. I came up with that first, which I figured would happen. And the two of them started to go at it online in person. And then they decided that they actually saw eye to eye and they weren't competitors. And they launched a conference called the Unconference, where they would invite all of their clients, Home Depot, you know, Toyota, together. And then they realized they could actually work together. And then because of that partnership, the guy who I suggested my client compete with was so much bigger brand-wise than he was. This guy elevated my client to his level. And all of a sudden now they were at the same level. And guess what? Ernst & Young came knocking and acquired my client.
Wow.
That's great. That's great.
That's it.
Thank you for that. I love those stories. They
I
stick
have
in
a
people's
question,
minds.
David. When you partnered with this other person and then because of that relationship, he was able to be elevated and then was sold, that, you know, he was sold. He was able to sell that. Do you have that down as a process? Because that can really be a process that you offer for clients, and I think it's extraordinary. I mean, I think that should be a total separate thing that you do and that you can offer. And you probably do it naturally, but you don't realize it, but that could be a vertical of what you do. I mean, I thought that was amazing. And if you could break that down into a three-step process, that would be unbelievable.
Thank you. Yeah, I get jealous when I see my presentations like Michael's, where everything is very, you know, this is how we do it. This is what we do. This is our success. I need a consultant to help me think like that.
There you go. Well, Rochelle can help you. Rochelle is somebody who can do that.
You know, and
Rochelle.
Fiverr can help take that and put that in for $20 and make it look pretty. So like, use
We have
all the people.
We have a great example now of somebody that has an extraordinary skill, can make billions of dollars for people and not leveraging that. I mean, that story was pretty interesting, and that could be a three-step process, and you can sell that process. I mean, I'm just sitting here, my eyes are like bulging from what you just said, and you said it so naturally, like it was no big deal. And I'm here to tell you that's a big FUCKEN deal. So I will tell you that.
Oh yeah, humility never got me anywhere.
It's not.
Now I'm gonna have to edit the video so that.
For those that can't spell, yeah.
Well, let's
They
talk.
can't spell.
I usually cut off the front and the end, but not anything in the middle. So Rochelle, actually, that's a good lead in.
Yes,
for
it is
you.
for what I'm doing. It's Rochelle from Dynamic Business Growth, and I always say it's dynamic business growth and not schlep along business growth. And we've just heard a very interesting example. I think very often clients are not as compelling to talk about what they do in a way that creates, that shows us their magic. They take their magic for granted. And based on that, when you speak about your business, I want to know, like, how do you pull a rabbit out of a hat? And how do we talk about it? And when we talk about it, we can really get to see your high level thinking and your high level skills. And that's what people pay for. They pay for your high level thinking and your high level skills. And we do that through stories. And because of that, I always say, are you storytelling or boring telling? Did you just torture me with facts and figures? Or did you tell me a story that highlights your skill? And can we talk about the story in a way that somebody can kind of follow it? So with that in mind, I do have a program coming up. It is starting on May 19th. It is going to be 6 consecutive Thursdays from 4 to 5:15. And over 6 weeks, I will be teaching a small group of people how to create their pitch. And the idea is, how do you go from unclear to unforgettable? So if you want any interest, if you're interested in finding out more about it, just relate to, get in touch with me, and we'll see what we can do on that. Because when we speak about our business in a particular way, and we tell the story that highlights some of our high level thinking, the only thing somebody can say is, pretty please tell me more. Like, when David was just talking about his story, he was so casual, and I'm sitting here like, as if it's a soap opera, and the next, it's like he gave me this cliffhanger. So can you do that about your skills and what you bring to the table, so that you can only attract, ready, willing, able clients that are begging to do business with you? So that's what we're talking about here.
Wonderful.
So I'm
And I
going to
see your-
put my email and phone in the chat. And if anybody wants to have more info about that, please give me a call. And again, we've got to learn the 3 C's. You've got to catch attention. Second C, tell a compelling story. And the third C is what's your call to action.
Very simple, very straightforward. Very few people do it
Yeah.
effectively. Okay. Sarita, you're up.
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Sarita Jackson with Grit. I save companies time, money, and mitigate their risk in the global market by providing them with customized market research and developing a strategy so that they can compete in the international market. One of the projects, I'm in talks with a company that is looking to export to the US. And with this project, it allows me to actually expand my service, because one of the things as a part of getting the research, developing a strategy, is the next step is helping with the implementation of whatever that particular plan or strategy is. And what I'm getting from several companies, actually going back to last year, but now I'm in talks with another company on making sure that they are compliant with regulations. Many of the companies, I work with companies across different industries, but mostly in the food manufacturing space, food and agricultural sector, broadly speaking, and then specifically within the food space. Well, there are a lot of regulations that come with that. So if a company is looking to export into the US or even in other overseas market, you want to do it right the first time. You do not want to lose a lot of money by making costly errors and facing fines by not understanding the regulations. So in this particular case, where I have partnered with a number of consultants, scientists, chemists, toxicologists that can help with this company and make sure that the company's product is not in violation of Food and Drug Administration regulations, US Department of Agriculture regulations. These are people with over 25 years of experience, work for these agencies. So that expands Grit service from just the research and strategy as a deliverable to actually partnering with people that can help when it comes to the regulations in that case. And just one other thing with regard to expanding, was it last week I had a conversation, I was pulled into a project where there's a company looking to export to the US and needs help with finding the right agent and distributor. Just to keep it short, I realized when I was pulled into a team how important it is to make sure you partner with the right person. The person that was a potential agent did not have the right skills to help this company once I provide them with the research, get them through the compliance issues. So because of that, focusing on expanding so I can help my clients with, help them with the implementation. I actually have a workshop coming up on May 26th, Thursday, May 26th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, where I am teaming up with a gentleman who used to work with the U.S. Department of Commerce, and he can help with providing information on finding the right agent and distributor for getting your product into the US or other overseas markets. So Sarita Jackson with Grit, 2 eyes.
Global Research Institute on International Trade, a
Yes.
mouthful. So GRIT
Oh,
makes it a lot
And can
easier.
I thank you, Michael? I didn't get to the last time, but thank you so much for connecting me with Mark Jarrett, by the way.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Excellent resource for expanding my network globally. So I really appreciate
Very
that.
cool. Yeah, he's a big networker. Okay. Matthew Silverman.
Hello, I think I've met almost everybody. Welcome to the new people. So I will keep it short. I do a lot of strategic marketing for a lot of really cool companies. Right now I'm working on a large insurance brand. I'm doing their Google ads and trying to help them with their SEO and their website, and they're trying to re-platform and all this fun stuff. I've got another client, B2B software company, that I'll start doing growth marketing. I'm just in the process of onboarding. Another client, I'm doing paid social ads. So a lot of very tactical things, trying to drive sales and leads for them. And in terms of referrals, if you know anybody who needs an independent contractor or a smaller agency to help with high-level strategic projects, definitely would love to speak to them.
Okay. Matthew gave the presentation last week on SEO for the average Joe, why it matters. And that's up, it's posted on,
Awesome, thank
on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
If you want to listen to it. And you got some feedback, which actually I didn't implement the poll for Michael. I could do that, and maybe we'll do it at the end, although hopefully you remember exactly what Michael spoke about. But
thank you so much for the feedback. That was really helpful. And it was really weird. Like last week, I was trying to do some Google things and it just wasn't working. And I think there's something in the plumbing where sometimes emails don't get sent and sometimes these tools just, they fail. I don't know what it is.
Stuff happens, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see who's next. Stephen Redford, and then I'll go.
Hello, everyone. It's good to be back. I've missed a few meetings. Stephen Redford. I have a company probably similar to Matthew, a small digital marketing company. We do branding, website design, and SEO. Just to tell a little story, I'm concentrating a lot on local SEO, and I have a new client, a hospitality company down in the financial district that haven't been open that long, maybe a year. Not getting any leads in terms of their website, which was a big mess. I won't even go into that. But little things. This is really a branding and an SEO issue for terms of local. Once I started digging around, I realized they had 4 different names to their company. The name of the company is Tagmo, but they were also called Made Fresh Daily. They were called Tagmo Treats, and they were called Tagmo Indian Kitchen. Each one had its own Google profile, different phone numbers, incorrect phone numbers. So they were all pretty much all over the place. A lot too many hands creating different profiles, one person not knowing what the other one was doing. So I came in and took everything, said that I would, don't do anything else. Don't do anything else. So I closed all the Google marketing, Google business profiles, merged them into one. And lo and behold, and even without doing traditional SEO on the website, they are now ranking on the first to second page in the 6-pack for Indian restaurants in the financial district. And that's without doing any link building, anything. So that's something that everyone should look. No one here, I'm sure, is doing that. I'm sure everyone is on top of that. We're all marketers here, but if it's pretty common. So if you know of some of these mom and pop shops that do their own marketing, you might want to, they might, and are having problems, perhaps send them to me. Thank you.
So did you redo their website too?
We did. But we haven't,
What's the name of
Yeah.
their company?
Tagmo, Tagmo.
Yeah, that's
And they had two websites, by the way. They had one, they were selling their candy on one site and the restaurant on the other, and they looked identical. So you couldn't even tell the difference between the two of them. You didn't know what website you were on. So we shut one down, merged them together, redesigned it because they didn't have, head type,
design.
nothing, no H1, H2, no headings, it was all over the place.
Got it. Good, thank you.
It's good food, by the way. It's one of the
Good
best
food.
Indian restaurants I've ever eaten in. This is
That's-
unbelievable.
That's an endorsement for you.
Yeah.
All right, I will go, and then we'll have a few more minutes left. Maybe we'll use that for polling on feedback for Michael Filato. So my name is Michael Bendit. Besides running this network, I also represent about a dozen software development teams, and my teams are very technically focused. About half of our work is marketing work. So we do a lot of websites, we do a lot of e-commerce sites, and we do some mobile applications as well. My best leads are, in fact, digital marketing agencies, small agencies up to maybe 20 or 30 people who don't always have those skill sets in-house to do the work directly. So they outsource it. There's such a wide range of platforms and technologies. Sometimes something will come across the transom of an agency like Stevens that he just doesn't have the skills, or his firm doesn't have the skills to handle. So we would work with Steven or whoever it is and it could be a white label behind the scenes or in partnership, whatever makes sense, to do the technical work so that they can lead with the design and the strategy and the SEO and all the other things that they are familiar with, and not lose the opportunity to deliver on that for that client. We find that a lot of agencies, small agencies, do partner with outside either freelancers or small web shops like the ones I represent, just because of that reason. They don't always have the resources in-house. And it's also hard to keep those skills in-house, and talented people in a marketing shop. They oftentimes get pulled away into startups where they'll get some equity or whatever. So I'll give you a brief story. We recently got a recommendation from somebody in this group to a company that sells printer cartridges online. And as you know, there's a gazillion printers out there and a gazillion models, and then each of them has their own printer cartridges. And they moved their site to Shopify, but the template they were using has a product search capability, but it's really slow, and so it was slowing them down, and they need to fix it quick. So they brought us in. They came to me. I connected them with one of my Shopify teams. Turns out that team was too expensive, so I brought them to another Shopify team. And now it's a very simple, I shouldn't say simple job, but very focused, right? We're going to find for them the right tool. They call it an app on Shopify, as opposed to a plugin, that will deliver what they need, which is called sort of a hierarchical product filtering. You put in the make of the printer, and then you put in the model, and then it will tell you exactly what the cartridges are. And we'll test out one. If it improves their speed, then we're done. If we said we'd go up to 3, we test up to 3 of them and set benchmarks for what kind of speed they need to achieve in order to consider it a success. So very technical, but that's the type of work we do, and we're happy to work something out. I mean, that whole job is going to cost $4,500, so it's not a big investment. But it's going to save a lot of clients who would otherwise leave the site because they get frustrated by the slowness of it all. Good. So what I'm going to do, we have about 7 minutes left. I'm going to launch this poll, and it's for feedback. Obviously, Michael, you don't need to provide feedback on your own presentation. Four simple questions.
I have feedback for that guy.
For what guy?
Me.
Yeah, exactly. So I just launched it. It's fairly simple. There's only one open-ended question of the four. If everybody could just provide that feedback, it's anonymous, so Michael won't get on your case if you tell him it was boring. He's watching us, yeah. And you could give him the benefit of the doubt that he did it on the fly, but really appreciate it. Does everybody see the poll? Okay. I don't see any feedback yet, but I guess you have to finish all four questions before it comes in.
Where's the poll?
Didn't come up?
No.
It's in the middle of my screen.
Oh,
All right. I see some people are getting it. Did you find it, Matthew?
no.
Does everybody else have it?
Yeah,
Maybe it's not
Sarita has it.
filtered.
Yep.
Maybe it's on a different, do you have multiple screens?
I do, but maybe it's, oh wait, let me see.
It's probably behind
hidden.
your screen.
Something.
Uh,
It should be,
Participants, yeah, no. I
Oh,
think
yeah, you
it's
can-
filtering stuff, it's fine.
yeah. All right, we've got 3 of 4 answered. I'm sorry, 4 questions, 4 of 7 people, 5 of 7 people participated. I'm not going to participate because I'm biased. So we just need one more person. But I guess that would be Matthew, right? So Matthew, you couldn't find it.
You should participate. Your opinion is what it is.
I guess it is. I'm not even sure how I can participate. Because I see, do you guys see the summary or no? No, I have to share it after I end it. I don't think I'm allowed.
You did
As
last
the-
time.
I shared it
we can-
last time.
You shared it last time. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, I'll share it now.
It doesn't include the open-ended question, but it includes
Right.
just the data.
So, yeah, so 60% said valuable, 40% said extremely valuable. Nobody said boring. There you go, Michael. Or not very engaging. Got average, engaging, and very engaging. Some people want to meet. 3 out of 5 people say they definitely want to connect with you. 2 are not sure, and then 4 out of 5 people gave you some feedback. And I will summarize that I'll download it, send it to you. I guess the only thing you really need is the keywords on the few words on how the presenter can improve this showcase. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to stop sharing this. I will open it up for our gallery mode. Any comments, questions about the network, about whatever? Has anybody gone to the on the website? I'll bring it up actually. We do have a list of upcoming marketing conferences, some of which are virtual and some of which are free.
Yeah, there's
so
that. And then Michael, I did go to the website to search for a person that I needed for a friend. So if there's an easy way to search for someone, like one of my friends is looking for a, what does she call it? Sales. Okay, no, I can't find it. Sales development person,
Business development, okay. Yeah, I mean, there is, if you go to the category business development, so you can just go marketing and sales, and then there is a business development category.
Okay.
So there's a couple of people here that do business development on contract.
Great, that's how to do it. Okay, thank you.
Yep, and then the events, you could hit, well, here's the weekly meetings, all marketing conferences, virtual marketing conferences. I also put in, so it shows you what's coming up. By the way, the Marketing Hall of Fame is tonight for whoever's in New York, it's starting at 6, so in about 2 minutes, no, 6:30, in about 32 minutes. I try to capture where I can the amount and where it's located or if it's virtual. And then if you want to just look at virtual ones, I have the virtual marketing conferences, which actually picks up the meetings as well, because they're virtual. Actually, this is messed up. I got to fix it. Marketing Hall of Fame is in New York. It's not virtual.
Is there any good
And-
place to find, like I live in Orlando, I go to the Orlando conference convention site, but and then there's e-meetings and all these other places you can look for networking groups. There's not really a place where I know if a show or conference is coming into town. Is there like a directory for that type of stuff?
Well, this, I'm not sure if I could do it by, let's see, if you open up this one, which is in Orlando.
Yeah, I did that one. I went to that one last year, I think.
Yeah, and then it's coming up. It's May 4th, which is tomorrow.
Oh, really? I think it was,
yeah.
I think there's more than just the financial one, right? There's a general one, right?
Yeah, and there is, and if you, I do this for clients, if you go on Google and you type in event, the word event, and then the kind of event you're looking for, Google will pull up knowing where you are. If you have your location on your computer, it'll show you all the upcoming events in your area related to those keywords. I've done that.
Right.
Yeah, I've
Marketing
done-
events.
And sometimes if you look at competitors or other companies, they'll list their sites. I got to run. I got a 3 o'clock. Good to see everyone.
Bye, take care.
Hey,
You're
Michael,
3 hours late for that. Okay.
Yeah. Michael,
Thanks, everyone.
Are you thinking about ever doing a Slack group?
I actually have a Slack group, but it's not very active.
Okay.
So there is a Slack channel. I would recommend, if you want to join a Slack channel, if you're not already on Serial Marketers.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
a
on
really
that
good. Yeah, you're on that one.
Yeah, David.
Another thing that I'm doing, I'm starting right now, actually today I started, is to come up with a list of business networking groups
Ooh, yeah.
that I could share, and as much information as I have about them. Obviously, everybody knows BNI. The Connective is one I just found out about. Marketing Network is another one that anybody here is welcome to come to. We meet on every other Friday or 2 Fridays a month. It is category exclusive, so we have to make sure that you're not competing directly with anybody. But if you run a marketing agency, we don't have anybody who is a generalist, so you're always welcome as a guest. But this is something I want to put on the website as well, because I believe that, first of all, the Trusted Referral Network is a great network, so it competes well against these for marketers. But also it's great for people to belong to other networking groups, because it just enables cross-pollination.
Right. That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anybody has some good networking groups they want to let me know about, just email me.
I mean, this is the best one. This one and Serial Marketers is probably at the best. That and what's it? Lunch Club is pretty good.
Right. Another one I will put up here is Mosaic.
Take
which
care,
is
guys.
new.
How do I
Right.
join
Yeah.
Mosaic? I've heard about that one, but
I will let you know.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Bye.